Welcome to Between the Whistles, a hockey podcast presented to you by three hockey bettors. My name is Jordan, better known as Shot Props. Joining me, as always, Tyson, a.k.a. Spittin' Picklets, and Brad, a.k.a. Gretzky Betskis. Gentlemen, great to see you. We have a great show. Let's jump right in. Welcome to our Around the League news segment. Up first, we're going to Betsky with his story. Betsky, what do we got today?
Well, All-Star Weekend always comes out with some big changes and developments in the league, and I'm sure everybody can guess what I'm about to say, but the NHL is going back to the Olympics, which is absolutely huge for me. I'm sure everybody here agrees. I'm sure everybody watching agrees, but there's truly nothing like the superstars being in the Olympics. I mean, outside of soccer, I don't think there's another team sport that's that competitive in the Olympics. That is also a popular and like large worldwide sport too.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And just to be able to see like McDavid and all the young stars that we haven't seen wear like Team Canada or Team US colors, like that's crazy. Like that was such a like, mindset of mine. Like I would always get excited for the Olympics every 4 years as a hockey fan. And then to not have that forever. Like even the kids growing up, like right now, don't know like, what Olympic hockey really is. So it's going to be super exciting. And I mean, so much better than All-Star break.
Yeah, we've got the current generation. As you can tell, Spittin' and I were Canadian, but we've never had McKinnon there. We've never had McDavid there. They're going to get a chance to be there. They've never had a chance to play with Crosby at this type of level. Hopefully he's still in his prime. I mean, this year he's looking great, so hopefully he retains that form for the next 2 years. It's going to be great. Obviously, the next level of superstars, Bedard, could be on this team as well. Would not be surprised to see him make it if he's healthy. It's going to be super fun. News-wise, though, I think the only other thing to note, as of right now, Russia is not at this tournament still. So, that's the only players that we won't see as of right now. But I know a lot of the players behind the scenes, according to Elliot Friedman, were lobbying for this to get this done. And it was something that they really wanted to see. So glad that the NHL was able to make it work with the Olympic Committee, because as a fan, it's so much better for me to see the players that we know there. It makes a big difference. It's so much more exciting to watch for me.
I agree. And so I was trying to think, the last one they really had was 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was, I mean, the gold medal game of US Canada was unbelievable. And it's one of the best memories of my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we opened the bar I worked at early. It was like 11 a.m. And
love it.
Yeah, just had a bunch of friends and come and just fill the whole place and just crank the volume, and people were going ape shit. It was so awesome. But then Sochi year, some stars went, but not everybody, right?
I think any NHL players couldn't go. So like you saw Eric Stahl, who didn't have a contract, go over and play.
Right.
And then there were a few others, I think, and like anyone who played in the KHL that was Canadian would obviously be able to go, and like throughout all the other leagues as well. But we didn't see any NHL stars there.
Okay, and I think that's why I got confused though, was because there were several names that felt bigger and more relevant than the past two that we've seen, which has really dwindled down for the quality of skaters on the teams. And really, I mean, Slavkovsky's probably got to be thanking the Olympics, because that's really kind of where he was able to run up his draft capital 2 years ago.
Yeah, in the World Juniors, right?
In
the actual,
yeah. He was like the top goal scorer for
Slovakia.
Yeah, Slovakia, and he like brought them to a bronze win, right, in Beijing.
I'm
not
sure.
know.
I'm just looking up right now. So Sochi was what year?
2014.
Yeah, 2014. It was
NHLers.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think it was limited because I remember there was like a controversy with like the quality of room and board there and the quality of pretty much the entire event. So I think some of the huge names you typically would see decided not to go. If I remember correctly, I would need to look at rosters too. So
Canada's roster looks pretty good. I've got it right here.
Okay.
Crosby, Bergeron.
Okay.
Tavares, Taves, Getzlaf, Marleau, Duchesne.
That's pretty
probably
stacked. Why did that feel so uneventful then?
For us, because Canada didn't win.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who
Canada did win in 2014.
What?
Yeah, runner-up was Sweden.
Oh, you're totally right. What am I talking about?
Hot start, fellas.
You know.
Well, you know what? That's 8 years ago. How are we supposed to remember that?
Yeah, come on now. I can't remember fucking yesterday.
8? It's 10 years ago.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe Canada just kind of cruised through it. I'm going to have to revisit this now, but
like I remember 2010 vividly.
Me too.
It was in Vancouver. Shout out me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. Olympics will be coming back. We've gone off the rails. We'll keep it moving. Next up, the next news story. On Saturday evening, Toronto Maple Leafs took on the Ottawa Senators. The Senators were up, I believe, 4-3. And with 5 seconds left in the game, Ridley Gregg had a breakaway on an empty net, and he took a slap shot, hammered it into the open cage, and Morgan Rielly did not like it. He took a run at Ridley Gregg, cross-checked him in the head. I don't know if the headshot was intentional or not, but he is going to be suspended. He has an in-person hearing, I believe, today, so we may have an update on what he received. So if we do, we'll pop that on screen. But gentlemen, what did you think of the incident overall? Because it's hotly contested on Twitter/X and in a lot of news media outlets. So any thoughts real quick on Morgan Rielly's cross-check on Ridley Gregg?
Hilarious. Like, just the whole play. Sorry, I don't mean like the cross-check was hilarious, but like for him to come in and just absolutely wind up for a slapper right that close below the hash marks on a breakaway on an empty net is ridiculous. So it was deserved, but like he deserved a little rough in at the end, but I don't know if it was like a cross-check to the face worthy play. But there's got to be so many emotions running through Greg's mind, right? Like division rival, Battle of Ontario, and it was in Ottawa. And like you got to imagine that there were Leafs fans behind the
a lot of Leafs fans
behind the goal. So he's seeing them and he's like, okay, I'm going to show him what's up, and then takes that big slap shot. So I thought it was hilarious, and hopefully that brings like a little spark back to the Battle of Ontario, because it really hasn't been there in the last few years.
It should.
Yeah.
Betsky, what are you thinking? Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that was definitely some BDE from Greg. I loved it. And I love that the Battle of Ontario does seem to be becoming a thing again. You know, we had the pause on the Alberta, and that really has heated up again, which is awesome. And now that Ottawa's better, I mean, can you imagine if they had to play each other in the first round of the playoffs?
Oh, wow. I wish, but
it would be fantastic hockey. And that's kind of the funny thing too, because I definitely think Rielly was way out in the wrong for what he did. Absolutely lost control. Could have easily just given him a check into the boards at the end of it, and just, you know, maybe a not light stick tap even, but it was not a good display of character, and I'm glad that he is going to miss some games. Is it 6? Is that correct, or is that what the rumors are right now?
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. I believe it's either today or tomorrow, the in-person hearing, but when it's in person, it's usually north of 5.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
And this is a Leafs team that's hanging on to a wild card spot right now and losing their top defender. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. And I can't wait for the next time these two teams play each other.
Oh yeah. I don't know if this is out there, but I want to take the over penalty minutes for their next matchup.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like it's going to be.
I did a real quick scroll through the schedule. I don't know if they play each other again.
I was going to say, it feels like they played each other a lot, because I think they played each other in Sweden on top of it too earlier this season.
Yeah, Nylander and Alfredsson coaching. So yeah, it was early on November, I think.
Well, that sucks for us.
Yeah, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. But yeah, it was a wild incident. Obviously, Riley lost control of his emotions. So
wires crossed.
I don't think he planned to do that.
No.
I mean, I know a lot of people, a ton of talk about the code and what you should and shouldn't do. Obviously, taking an empty net or taking a slap shot on an empty net is kind of a middle finger to the other team and, to the fans. So I don't have a problem with Riley doing something. I don't think the way he did it, what he did was maybe the right way. Maybe try and go over and fight him. Maybe give him a bit of a shove and, let him know in his ear what's up and what you're going to do next time. But maybe he handled it a little bit bad, but interesting play nonetheless that sparked a lot of opinion on social media. And our last story of the day, we're going to Spittin'.
Well, I mean, how do we not talk about the trades that's been going on? I mean,
your trade,
my trade, the number one team in the standings as of this recording by 3 points, not a big deal. Vancouver Canucks got Elias Lindholm, and I did a piece on why I didn't want Elias Lindholm, and trust me, I got roasted in the comments after because it was posted at 7 a.m. on that last Wednesday, and the trade happened at 5 p.m. So 10 hours later, 10 hours later, they traded for him. I mean, I'm happy with the trade. Like, don't get me wrong. He's struggled this season. Like, he hasn't ever since he lost Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk. It's been a pretty big struggle for him. And like, that makes sense. Like, you lose 2 elite wingers, and then last year he had Toffoli, so he did all right. But this year he was with like Jonathan Huberdeau, who like we all know he's been struggling as of late. And then Sharon Govich and him really built up some chemistry before they shipped him out. But I'm really happy with it. One thing about this deal that's under the radar and like no one's really talked about too much is like we lose Kuzmenko's 5.5 for next year, and that's just going to help so much for like that builds up so much cap space for next year when we have to give Petey an extension, Hronek an extension, and then the third line to go to Joshua Teddy Bluger. We have so many other UFAs that just clears up so much room that now we can bring on 2 guys who are actually helping us this year, whereas Kuzmenko really fell out of favor with Tocchet. We weren't seeing that 40-point or 40-goal season like he produced last year. So I'm pretty happy with the move. He's a right-handed centerman, which we don't have. He's 3rd in the league in face-off wins. Super defensive, like he first-line penalty kill and everything. So he's a good ad for come playoff time.
And the one nice thing about him is because he referenced like his goal drop-off is crazy, right? 40 goals. In the past, he's not on pace for nearly that this year. But like we said, or like you just said, he's versatile. He can, contribute on the penalty kill. He's gonna, control the puck with faceoff wins. I think they're playing him with Petey on the wing. Is that correct?
No, so they actually switched it up the last 2 games. So they put him at center between JT Miller and Brock Besser.
Ooh,
but that's like that just goes to show you can move him really anywhere. And something that he brings that we haven't had since Rafi Torres back in like 2011 was a net front presence. And that's what he brings. Like you saw in his first game. He just parked himself right in front of the net, and Carolina got 2 tipping goals on the power play. Yeah. So that's just going to help our power play so much. So he's power play, face off, penalty kill, versatile, play him on the wing, play him center. He's a jack of all trades, and that's what we really needed.
And so before we move on to the next big trade that we're going to talk about, let me ask you this, because the pieces that were involved in the trade a little bit better than I do. But I had some people say to me, it seemed like they gave up a lot for him. And there were multiple pieces in it. My question back to the person was, but how valuable were those pieces?
Yeah, as individuals.
Yeah.
Right? So did any of those pieces stand out as too much?
Well, for Kuzmenko, we had to move him anyway. Because he was falling out of favor. To make the money work, we had to move him. And he was falling out of favor anyway. Like I'm surprised that they took him on and like took a shot on him, which was good. Like I like that. So I don't really consider that to be a huge loss because of what you're bringing in. Hunter Brusevich, that's the big name rookie or young prospect that we gave away. And I mean, he was looking really, really good in the OHL. He was leading the league in points of all players for quite a while there. As of the trade, he was 3rd. I'm not sure where he is now. He's a right-handed D who's like 6 feet, so a little undersized for a defenseman, but he's more of an offensive guy. And because he gets cooked in the OHL. Like imagine what is going to happen when he comes over and plays NHL. So he's pretty much a power play specialist. And like look at Quinn Hughes. Like, he's not going anywhere. He's our captain. No. He's never going to be able to take that first power play spot. Yeah. So we don't really need him. So that was fine. And I heard a rumor. I'm not sure. I just saw it on Twitter. So, I mean, I don't know how legit it is, but it was from someone who I believe has pretty credible sources, that the Canucks weren't sure if he was even going to sign in Vancouver. So for us to kind of trade him at his peak when he's leading the OHL in scoring, and for a player that we might not even sign, I think it was pretty good asset management right there. And then the first round pick doesn't really matter because it's 32nd overall anyway. The fourth round pick, conditional third. The condition is like, if we make it to the Western Conference Finals, and if it becomes a third, and if that's the case, we've already won the trade.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy with that. And then Yoni Yermo, like, that's just a name. Like, the Canucks, if we didn't sign him at the end of this season, he wouldn't, he would just be a UFA anyway. And so obviously with his development, they didn't like it. So they're like, okay, we're not going to sign you anyway. Just throw him in the deal. So for what we gave up, I'm pretty happy for the player that we got in Lindholm.
All right. I like to hear it. And we had one other trade to discuss very quickly.
Yeah. John Monahan goes from Montreal to Winnipeg. And I just want to say, I'm going back to the Canucks here. Just the way.
Of course you are.
Well, no, I just love what Alvin and Rutherford did, because they went out and set the price market, right?
Yeah. They got in ahead of time, because
on what the center costs. Because, like, if this trade happened and it was a first for Monahan, Craig Conroy would run to the phone and ask for way more than what they ended up getting anyway. So just being able to set that market, and also if that Elias Lindholm trade didn't happen, like, Monahan would never go for a first.
Probably not.
Yeah, but then he's also like, oh, what was I going to say? I forgot. But the asset management on Kent Hughes or the Canadians is absolutely amazing. You bring in Monahan and take on his contract, you get a first, and then you trade him for a first. So 2 firsts for pretty, like, just for taking on some money. Like, great asset
he's been
management.
Good for them. I mean, he's definitely helped some of the kids kind of find their footing and their roles.
Shawnee Money. Yeah, one of my favorite players. But
wait, is that an Ottawa sweater?
Ottawa 67's jersey.
Junior.
Yeah, Junior. Nice. Love it.
Super.
Forgot. Yeah.
Super nice there.
But it was Montreal was like a nice spot for him to kind of just find his own footing again as well, and kind of get back into the groove of things. And he's definitely not a 1C. He's probably not a 2C on a lot of the best teams in the league, but he can slot up there if he needs to. And I don't feel like he's really found his groove in Winnipeg quite yet. But once it all starts to click, that really helps solidify that top 6.
Yeah, totally. And I believe they had Nemesnikov as their second line center.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's a second line center. You add Monahan in there, like,
I don't believe he's a center.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like in a perfect world, Monahan would be my 3C, but like he can totally play 2C as well.
And when you have Lowry as your 3C too, it's kind of like you got 2 pains in the asses that teams are going to have to match up against now. So I feel like when those teams have really elite 3Cs, they can kind of get away with having a 3C, 2C tweener a little bit better centering the second line than other teams can.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And the thing for Winnipeg is, if they wanted a center, if that's what they've identified as their biggest need, there wasn't much else left after Monahan with Lindholm gone. So,
well, that's what drove the price up as well, right?
Yeah.
That's why
there's a lot of wingers in D-man that are up for grabs right now. So there you go. Yep. Nice job, Winnipeg. We'll see how it works out for them. And that's going to wrap up our Around the League segment. Coming up next, Risers and Fallers.
All right, so our next segment is called Risers and Fallers. So we are getting to that period where we're about 2/3 of the way through the season. I think there's a pretty clear playoff picture now, but there's still going to be those battles for the wild card spots and obviously seeding in each conference. So we're kind of doing a little exercise here when you stare at the standings and the recent play for some of these teams, kind of sandwiched between the All-Star break. we're going to be looking at a couple teams that we think may be able to rise all the way to a wild card spot. And then a couple teams that either may fall out of a wild card spot or maybe even just fall out a little bit further from where they currently sit in their division standings. So the first one that I think we can all agree on right now is the Red Hot Flames as a riser. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's somewhat shocking because it goes right into our last conversation about trade talk. They move essentially their 1C in a trade, and they seemingly are better now.
Confusing.
It is, but time and time again, you kind of see these types of trades kind of trigger the motivation between a current roster, or maybe that piece like Kuzmenko was kind of a missing cog to what this offense actually needed, rather than kind of a really tough two-way center that Lindholm brought. Maybe just having another sniper is that extra firepower they kind of needed, or maybe some of these players are playing for a trade themselves. Either way, we're sitting here looking at a Flames team that is currently 6-4 in their last 10 and has won 4 straight. So do you guys think the Flames are going to continue to rise and maybe even take a crack at a wild card spot? Or do you think maybe we have seen them already as hot as they'll get and they're going to start to cool off?
I think one question has to be asked and answered before we can answer that question. Okay. And it's, what is going on with Jacob Markstrom? Because the rumors have been floating around that now, usually, before, they didn't want to trade him, and he didn't want to move either. But now it's come out that he said, it's not my decision if I get moved or not, kind of thing. Which, yes, it is. You have at least a modified no trade clause, so you kind of have to sign off
a little bit.
But that's him going out and being like, yeah, if there's a trade out there, I wouldn't mind looking, or I wouldn't mind accepting and going somewhere else. So I would credit a lot of this 4-game win streak of the Flames to Jacob Markstrom, because I believe he's won at least the last 3. The last 4. He has a shutout. Here's his save percentage over the last 4 games of this 4-game win streak. You got a shutout, so perfect 100. And then 0.955, 0.925, 0.944. So he has just been, and these are heavy shots. Yeah, like Boston, New Jersey, New York Islanders. Well, I mean, shut out Chicago, but a lot of these games, he's seeing 30. He saw 40 shots against the Devils and 36 against the Islanders. So he's there are a lot of saves that he's making, and so if they keep him, I definitely believe that they can get one of those wild card spots. But if they trade him, I don't see a world where that happens.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen him play at this level before, 21, 22. He was a Vezina finalist. He was unbelievable. And then he kind of, I don't want to say fell off. That's not maybe fair, but his production dropped for sure.
Yeah. Goalies are voodoo. They're the most roller coaster position in all of sports. I truly believe that. They can be fantastic. And I always call a great goalie, not a good goalie. A great goalie has probably 70% good seasons statistically, and 30% of their seasons or of their career are not great. An elite goalie is probably 80% to 90% good.
Yeah. So and so to your original question, can they do it? Can they keep it up? I think they have the potential to be a riser. But one thing you did mention is they've got a lot of pieces on the block. I think Chris Tanev is 33. He's a pending UFA. I can't imagine that they keep him. Even if they do want to try and make a push, they know they're not going for the cup this year. There's no reason to let that asset, unless you're going to resign him long term. There's no reason to let that asset go to waste. So I do think they move at least him. Like Spittin said, more buzz on Markstrom, but outside of that, they do have a solid roster. They still have Huberdeau, who we've seen what he can do. Kadri can be a very quality top 6 center. I like Backlund. He's, I think, as you mentioned earlier in the show, that 2C, 3C tweener. I think they have some good pieces there. Defense, they've got Hannafin, solid player. I think Uyghur's good.
Hannafin's another one that's kind of in the trade.
Yeah, and he's an interesting one because he's a little bit different than Tanev. He's 26, so they need to. If he's a part of their future plans, I can absolutely see him staying. I'd be shocked if Tanev was still there after the trade deadline, though.
Yeah, I think that's an asset they'll certainly move. What I'm wondering is Hannafin an RFA or a UFA?
I can find that.
I don't. He's 26, so he's UFA. 27's typically when you hit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I want to go back to kind of what Gretzky said earlier, and when you said Kuzmenko might have been the piece that they needed, and they had to trade away Lindholm. Like Lindholm, Backlund, and Kadri are like not the same player, but they kind of are. Like they're all centers, they're all pretty two-way guys. And like they didn't really have that sniper. Like who's their sniper on their team? They traded Tyler Toffoli last year. Yep. That was their sniper last year. So now they have one in Kuzmenko. And Huberdeau has found his game since
he really has.
Trade. I think he's 5 points.
Even before the trade. I mean, he was. Yeah. I would say those 2 weeks before the All-Star break, that entire top 9 was becoming very productive, and the biggest change was Huberdeau, really starting to click though. I mean, he's always been a favorite player of mine. It was really disappointing to see him take such a step back last season, and it's really nice to kind of see him heating up again with the Flames.
Yeah, for sure. So if his play continues and they hold on to Markstrom, because they don't have to move him.
No,
it's just like if they're going to be sellers, and like I think he has 2 more years on his deal, so he'd be UFA next year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
and the kids have been good for them too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Connor Zary.
Yeah,
like I think he's up there for points for rookies.
I think so.
I think, yeah. So I don't know. They should be interesting to watch down the stretch here.
Yeah, he's got Zary 26 points. Very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think
Blake Coleman 43.
I know. On the third line.
Yeah.
I do think this is a situation where if the Flames were in the East, I would probably not really consider them a riser. I think because of how weak the West is, that's why I would consider them having even a long shot of making a wild card spot. So
I think that's a great segue. Let's stick in the West and let's move to our first faller.
Move.
So we've got the Kings currently sitting in the first wild card spot. They were one of the hottest teams to start the season, but I think heading into the All-Star break, they had lost 14 of 17. Coach Todd McClellan fired.
Yep.
Cam Talbot looked unbelievable early in the season, and he's not the same guy. It's David Riddick who's actually playing well, and Phoenix Copley's hurt, so they don't have him.
How long can Riddick play well? I mean, I think we were all saying the same thing for Talbot is, old habits die hard. But I think we were all waiting for that floor to come out, and it did. And now they get a guy who's been pretty leaky in the past, and he's playing lights out right now. But can he do it for another month?
Yeah.
So they're falling for sure.
I don't know. I would tend to disagree. I think a lot of hate is on them, and rightfully so. Like they did play horrible down that little stretch before the All-Star break, but they won the game before the All-Star break. They won their opening game against the Oilers in returning after the All-Star break. And if you look at Tankathon, the remaining strength of schedule, the LA has the 31st hardest strength of schedule the rest of the season. So maybe it was a result of, they were playing a lot of good teams and they lost a lot of their confidence. And now, the rest of the way, now that they're kind of building up their confidence again with such an easy schedule, the only team that has an easier schedule is the Sharks than the Kings. So I could definitely see them, making a push. I don't know how far back they are. Is that 3 points, I think, of the Oilers? And I don't know what is on Vegas, but
they're 3 points behind the Oilers. They have 58 points. The Oilers have 61. They have played one more game than the Oilers. Vegas is second in the Pacific at 68, but then They are tied with the second wild card spot, the Blues, at 58. Nashville is right behind them at 56. Flames are right behind that at 55.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to get a wild card.
Yeah. I mean, it will be tough to bump, Vegas or Edmonton out of there.
Or Vancouver.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
They're in their own echelon right now.
Yeah. I mean, they played the Sharks once, the Ducks 3 times, the Blackhawks 3 times.
Yeah.
Blue Jackets
but those are easy games to drop too, though. I mean,
trap
if you don't win some of those games, oh man. They have to win those. Those are games that could have been nights off or half effort games that you could have won, and now they become must win games because they need those points.
Totally. But now, you also have to think Arvidsson's coming back.
Yes, that should help a little bit.
Hopefully that helps Dubois. I think he scored in against the Oilers in their last game. They need to get him going. The coaching change could also help. Look at what happened with Edmonton. They got the new coach that really fit their system, and then they went on that 16-game winning streak. Absolutely crazy. So who knows what this new coach is kind of going to bring into their system? And if they get Arvidsson like that, I don't know where he would slide in. Because that first line's been good. Kopitar, Kempe, and Byfield, and then also Fiala with Deneau and Trevor Moore has been really good. So you can go Dubois with Arvidsson, and then that could really get Dubois going. So,
and Laferriere, right?
Oh yeah, maybe Kaliev.
Yeah, I don't know. I like them kind of. It'd be it's tough to kind of move into that Pacific top 3, but I definitely think they're locked in on the playoffs.
So you think they can hold?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. But I think they're going to build a really big gap where, they're not going to be as close to the St. Louis, Nashville, and, Calgary. I think at least they'll solidify the number 1 wild card seed.
I do think getting PLD is going to be a key. Getting him going.
If they can.
He's 21 points on the year. What did they give up for him?
Iafallo and Vilardi, who I'm sure they wish they still had, and a first.
And Rasmus Kupari.
They gave up a ton for this guy, and he's not producing. Byfield looking great.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Finally playing around. That whole draft year, Lafreniere's playing really well. Byfield, just that top heavy. It looked like, these guys might not actually pan out and make it, but now, after this season, you can definitely shut those haters out.
Yeah. So,
but will they become point per game type players? We will see.
Yeah.
Byfield's pretty close.
What's he at?
He's 38 and 47, so maybe he's a little bit off, but yeah. So there's a case to be made. So those are some teams we highlighted in the West. Why don't we move over to the East? Do we want to start with our riser or our faller?
Well, why don't we start with the faller?
Yeah, let's keep falling.
Yeah.
Guys.
Go ahead, Spin.
Well, I think it's just got to be, there's one glaring team. It's we're playing one of these kids is not like the other. And one of these kids is the Philadelphia Flyers.
The red-haired stepson.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Flyers. They weren't supposed to be up here all season. And, they've been doubted throughout the year. But, they kind of they're on a winning streak right now. They've won 3 straight, but before that, they were really, really struggling. I just think you look at, if you look at the wild card standings, there are some teams in their division that, can easily catch them. The way that the Islanders are playing under Patrick Waugh, they could always make a push. I mean, New Jersey Devils got Jack Hughes, but we might touch on them later. And I mean, the Pittsburgh Penguins, if they figure out their power play, which I can't believe it's as bad as it is, they could easily make a run.
Carlson's looking a lot better.
Yeah,
they're getting good goaltending. Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm. And Washington, yes, Ovi scored 5 straight games. Is he back? I don't know. I hope he is, but
goaltending.
Yeah, I don't see them kind of making a push. But there's 3 teams right there that I just highlighted that I can easily see kind of making it over Philly. Yeah, What do you guys think?
Speaking of goaltending, obviously, I think most people know Philly lost their starting goaltender. He will be gone for a while. So no Carter Hart. Sam Ersson has stepped in, and he's doing all right. But he certainly wasn't the prospect or the player that Carter Hart was expected to be coming into the year. So that's
Erson's actually been pretty good.
He's been great, but he's getting ran down, and he's just not the consistency's going away now that him and Hart aren't kind of playing 1A, 1B.
Yeah,
and that's and I think what we've seen, I think you take the average of these past 8 games or so, or maybe the past 6. We can say take the average of the last 3 losses and the last 3 wins. Throw it in a blender, and I think you're going to get a kind of average last third of the season here. And I think the Carter Hart situation is a major reason why they tumbled for 5 games. Mm-hmm. That news probably struck a chord with the players in the room. Mm-hmm. Ersson all of a sudden had to take a very heavy load without any kind of plan B there, and they were playing a lot. So I think having that all-star pause was really good for them. It obviously shows with the 3 wins, and now they're playing the Coyotes tonight as we're recording this. But they're going to be playing other teams that are battling for wild card spots and playoff seedings. And the East is so competitive that I am on the side that they are going to fall out of a wild card spot.
Yeah, I think they fall out as well. One thing we haven't mentioned, they also do have 2 players who are kind of on most people's top 10 lists of available trade assets. So Sean Walker and Nick Seeler, they're their bottom 6 defensemen, but important pieces on this team. So if they get moved, that's just 2 other pieces that they're missing. And they're already on the bubble. To me, there's other teams who can jump up. So yeah, I'm with you guys. Followers.
And I also I always feel like it's a little tough when teams are kind of going into the season with one type of plan, and the Flyers have obviously been kind of retooling, a little rebuild here, picking top 10, 6 and 7 the past 2 seasons. I have to imagine they were maybe somewhat thinking that at least this new management team was somewhat thinking that they were going to have a higher pick too. And I think that just kind of throws a wrench in things. And obviously it's a happy accident, right? But, and obviously you want your team to succeed, and they have a good group of young players, but I do think they have more motivation to potentially trade off assets like Walker than a older playoff bound team would. Because,
sure,
they just acquired Drysdale. They can give him minutes.
Scott Lawton, they put on the block too, just because,
oh, yeah,
centermen, and there really aren't a lot of them. And, if they're like, hey, because, I mean, they're playing with house money this season. Like they didn't expect to be in the playoffs. So, like, do they really think that they're going to make a long run? But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, your players are really outperforming and like doing super well. Like you should kind of reward them. And by rewarding them, it doesn't mean going out and adding. Maybe you just don't do anything. Like you don't trade off the pieces that you thought you would at this time last year, and then kind of reward their play and see if they can make a run.
Yep.
There you go. And we touched on our riser who might take Philly's spot. Betsky, why don't we throw it to you? With a team who just got a superstar back.
Yeah, the New Jersey Devils just got Jack Hughes back, and I think this is potentially one of the first, if not only, time we've seen their entire forward group healthy. Maybe at the very start of the season, but wasn't Palat out at the beginning? I don't remember, but it sure has seemed like ages since we've seen all of Brott, Heischer, Hughes, Meyer, Palat, Mercer, Toffoli all together. Yeah. And I mean, this is a game changer, a player that can completely help a team win games. We've seen people like McDavid do it, where they can kind of put a team on their back and carry them through games that they have no business being in. The biggest concern here, though, is goaltending. Can they get this resolved to make that playoff push and continue not even continue, start rising, because you can see right here they're 3-6-1 in their last 10.
Yeah. Well, I just see they have been struggling lately, and even though they haven't got the goaltending, they're not even out of it. And now you get Jack Hughes back.
Yeah.
You're 6 points out of the last wild card spot, and 8 points out of third in your divisional
part. Yeah.
So just with getting that's the biggest deadline acquisition that they could ever make, and they don't have to trade any assets. It's just okay. Now our superstar's back. Jacob Markstrom's been linked to the Devils.
Oh man!
And if that happens, they're for sure in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they get some consistent goaltending, for sure.
And this is a team that has cap space and have extra assets they can use to acquire any type of player they feel that will improve their team. So this is not a team where you're kind of like the Penguins. You kind of see what you see is what you get for that roster from now till probably the end. Maybe they can add a fourth liner or bottom pairing defenseman. But Jersey is one of the few contending playoff type teams that could make a huge splash and huge improvements here.
Yep. And they might need to, obviously goalie is a concern, but they might need to add a defenseman as well, because Dougie Hamilton likely out still another 2 to 3 months minimum.
Okay. So he may not even be able
Markstrom
to play
and Tanev.
make it.
That's what I was thinking too. I don't know if that's too much, but
that'll cost them a lot.
I mean, that would be huge.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And this team did also, they lost a couple players as well with the recent news. So Calfoot and Michael McLeod, they'll be gone too. So those two assets that they're missing that they maybe weren't planning on, or they were planning on having potentially coming into the season. So
what if?
So that's changed too. But
what if Hanifin and Markstrom to the Devils?
Well, I just said Tanev.
Or Dougie Hamilton.
Send him back.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
I can't imagine that would be it. No, I think I think Tyson
would be chilling in his summer home with his recovering from his knee injury or whatever it was, and then he gets that ring that he's going to Calgary next year.
What do you think it would actually cost though to get a Hanifin and a Markstrom? It's got to be 2 firsts.
I mean, yeah, sure. Would you be willing to move Nemec to?
No,
potentially no.
No, I would I'm pretty sure they got a lot of prospects like Seamus Casey.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one. That's not your top guys, but
yeah, I feel like Calgary's a team who would probably prefer some players that are getting there to the point of being able to play. So yeah, 2 firsts, Casey, and maybe you could trade Ball then.
Yeah,
it's kind of an up and coming defenseman.
Fill the roster spot, I guess.
Yeah, and a young enough guy who could potentially be a long-term piece for Calgary.
Siegenthaler, he won't play this year, but
yeah.
I don't know where his contract's at.
Or even send Schmid back. Maybe Calgary views Schmid and Wolf as a nice 2 younger goaltenders that you're throwing the dart twice, and maybe you hit on both, or maybe you have a nice 1A, 1B situation with those 2.
I like it. Any final thoughts on the risers and fallers, gentlemen, before we wrap up?
I'm excited for this last kind of race to the end. The East is particularly interesting. I mean, you can't really count the Islanders out here yet. I think we haven't seen the best of what Raw can do with that roster. I would really love to see them make some interesting trades and add more speed and skill, but we'll see if
Lou will do that.
We'll see if Lou can get the computer on and then take a look and see what's available for.
Yeah, the East will definitely be more interesting because I think your top 3 seeds in both divisions in the West are pretty much locked up.
Yeah.
You have an idea of who's going to be there, and it's going to be pretty hard for any wild card team to catch them, but the East is wide open, so I'll enjoy watching that race.
Yeah, and like we said, Toronto losing their best defenseman for probably a handful of games. They're just hanging on to this wild card spot, so lots can happen.
Yep.
Exciting. All right, so that will wrap up our risers and fallers segment. Coming up next, we're putting Spittin' and Betsky in the GM chair. Coming up next, we are putting Spittin' and Betsky in the GM chair. We're going to do a fantasy draft. We're going to take the teams that they build, put them into NHL 24, and see whose squad comes out on top. So to get us started, we need to figure out who is starting the draft. So we've got a trivia question to pick who's going to go first or who is going to go second. And then we're going to pull up our draft board and you'll get a better sense of what's going on. So our trivia question: who leads the NHL in penalty minutes? If you guys don't give me the top answer, we'll go with whoever has the highest answer on the list. So who leads the NHL in penalty minutes this season?
Spittin'.
Go ahead.
Duh. I don't know.
You don't have to get the top one. Give me who you think has the most that you can think of. And
Nick
then
Delorier.
Nick Delorier.
Oh God, he's scrolling.
Okay, he has 53 penalty minutes.
That's not good.
I'm going to say he's like 30th. It's not numbered, but I'm ballparking. He's about 30th. So
let me just go take a nice little swing at this then, and I just need to do better than that. So let's do Brady.
That's who I was going to say.
Brady's number 2. He's got 102 on the year. So Betsky, would you like to pick first or second?
I am going to pick first.
Okay,
who is number 1?
Number 1. You asked me for an Arizona question.
Liam O'Brien.
Liam O'Brien is number 1.
Nice.
I'm so upset.
Who I have on my team.
There you go.
I should have known that. I'm his damn GM.
There you go. So
what an embarrassing answer by me.
Wasn't your best, but that's okay. It's all right.
You're stuck in the past.
So here's our draft. Here's our draft.
Okay, my draft will be better.
Betsky is getting our first pick. Spittin's getting our second pick. Spittin, the benefit of going second is you are going to get back-to-back picks at 2 and 3, and then the snake is going to re-kick off at pick number 5, so you're starting it there as well. You are each going to be picking 3 of each forward position, 4 defensemen and 1 goalie. We've got kind of a draft board here to see your teams. They've each got 77 overall players to fill out their fourth lines and 82 overall players to fill out their bottom 6 D-men. But everything else will be under their control. So Betsky, the floor is yours. Do you know who you want to take?
Yeah, so you typically take a kicker first, right?
I think so.
Always.
I'm not a fantasy football
specialist,
but I'd imagine.
We gotta do McDavid here, right? That's why I
can't fault you there.
Reach.
I'm gonna allow Spittin to get nice 2 picks back to back here.
Yeah, all right. And you can track along their team needs right here. Hopefully my formulas check out. Spittin, you got back to back, so take your time.
I think the only way to counter McDavid is to go McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going McKinnon.
Ooh.
Of course, you like it. And I just don't want Gretzky to have him. So I'm going to go with Cale Makar.
Some gamesmanship. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. Got to get that number 1 D-man.
I like it. So Betsky's on the board. He's got Connor McDavid. Where does he want to add?
I am going to go Kucherov.
That was my next.
Wow.
And you said we're using this year's roster.
We're using great question. Great question. Yes, we're on NHL 24. We are using the most updated rosters. I believe it was updated last week. So it should be as accurate as we can get.
Hopefully they're not counting the skills competition in for Kucherov's race.
Yeah,
and then the only other thing is we've asked Spittin and Betsky to keep players at positions that they actually play. So there's some players who play center and wing. They'll have the option, but for Nikita Kucherov, he plays right wing. He'll be playing right wing for Betsky's team. So we're back to Spittin. Now we're going to go 1-2, 1-2 for the rest of the draft.
I think you got to get a sniper for McKinnon's wing. And who better than a big bowl of pasta?
Mm.
All right. Also a right winger.
Well, I got to do the best defenseman in the league.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Take him.
So let's take Evan Bouchard. Just kidding. Quinn Hughes.
That pains me.
How dare you? It's already hard.
Well, you take a minute, and just so the people know what to expect. After this, I am going to make these rosters in NHL. We are going to sim it, and we're going to have the video up to watch as well. So we'll do a quick sim for the first 2 periods, and then we'll kind of watch out the full third. So we'll have a full link to that video as well. But Spittin', any idea what you're thinking here? Do you want to see? Here, I can give you guys this view as well if you want.
Yeah, I'm going with Austin Matthews.
Oh, you stole him.
Yep.
Spilled it down the middle.
I'm going to continue with the Leafs bias in the NHL franchise and grab Mitch Marner then.
Oh, not the Leaf I thought you were going to say.
I know, but again, this is EA.
This is EA.
This isn't hipster cappers who know that Nylander is absolutely dominant.
There you go. There you go. All right.
I think this guy plays wing and center, so I hope you allow me to play him at the wing. And I can't let you have Leon and McDavid, so I'm going to go with Draisaitl as my first line left wing.
All right.
Yep, I think that's fair on the wing. Oh, that's not correct. So what do we got? 2 defensemen off the board. Only 1 left winger taken.
I am going to Let me see.
No worries. Here, I'm going to stop my screen share real quick. I'm going to put both screens up if I can.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do that. So let's do. Well, Betsky's taking a minute here. We're good. So I want to see.
Yeah, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Okay, perfect. So now if I share it like this, I think. There we go.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
Now we got both.
Well, I'm going to do Elias Pettersson.
Oh!
Didn't want to take all the Canucks here, but
you son of a.
I know.
It's kind of unbelievable.
Nice. I'm trying to be nice.
Are you playing him at center or on left wing?
I will put him on center for now.
Okay. If you need me to scroll over, just let me know.
Okay.
Actually, I'll try
look
and
at those.
highlight
Look at
whose
those.
team is live.
Top 2 centers and top 2 right wingers.
Looking good. Okay, Spittin', this is your squad as of right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, your
looks
italics
lethal.
players are kind of your defaults, but that's all right. They're even across both teams. We thinking we attacking forward core here?
I don't think so. I think I'm going back to D, and I'm going to take Adam Fox for the left. Is he right?
For defense, right. I'll let you put him on either. So
okay, cool.
I think we'll be flexible on that. So and to be honest, I don't know.
And yeah, it says he shoots right on NHL.com.
Well, there you go. You have him on the right.
But McCarr also is right. So maybe that wasn't that smart. Whatever.
It's okay. I don't think that part will matter too much in the simulation.
And then I'm just going to run up and fill out my top line.
And pick JT Miller?
No. I need
Brock
some bread.
Besser?
I need some bread.
Yeah, that was
Yeah. He lasted a while.
Those were the 2.
Good pick.
And I think I'm going to stick in Colorado and go Mikko Rantanen. Please and thank you. Go Avs, go.
There you go. Mikko, your right winger on line number 1. And we're back to Betsky. He's got 1 left winger, his whole third line, 3 defensemen, and a goaltender left.
I think I think at this point I'm going to grab Yossi.
Oh, nice. Okay. I like it. Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Spitting. Now, don't forget, you may want to count on your top 9 to kill some penalties, unless you want to let your bottom 12 forwards do that. So keep that in mind with your remaining picks. If you want any penalty killers, maybe you're happy with what you have already.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I still haven't decided. I should probably.
That's all right.
I feel like this guy can kill penalties. He's good. He's good face-off guy. Good buddies with my first pick, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby.
I like it. Oh, that's not the right window.
Now my center is deep.
Then I'm going to go with
Center's
the best two-way center in the league, Sasha Barkov.
Fair. That's a good counter.
Yeah, try getting around him, Crosby. Sorry.
Although I will point out something. So Betsky, Spittin could not take another center, so you could have waited on that. Just so you know. So keep that in mind moving forward.
True.
If in the event, right?
Yeah. So, I think we'll be all right though.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a fine move, but just something to point out. That's
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
No, dude, your draft's totally ruined.
I'm sitting here just fuming right now at myself, to be honest. I'm trying not to show it.
No, both teams are going to be stacked. All right, where's Spittin going next here?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I feel like I got a lot of snipers, but I feel like if I take this guy, it's a little early, so I'm going to go with another defenseman, and I'm going to take Rasmus Dahlin.
Ooh, good pick.
I'm going to go running to the podium to select my boy, Brady Tkachuk.
Ooh.
Did you know he's second in the league in penalty minutes?
I have the first and second in the league now. I have all the penalty minutes.
So we got Betsky's team right here.
You guys are going to bully me.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm fine with Brady on that third line. But
yeah, we can make changes after.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see who falls to me.
I'm thinking here. This is harder than I thought. You know.
I know. And anybody who watches this is going to have opinions on who you did or did not pick.
Yeah, everyone's going to be yelling at me right now. Like, obviously, take my favorite player. This guy hasn't had a great season, but I need a left winger, and I think he's going to be ranked high in NHL. So I'm going to go with Kirill Kaprizov.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, sneaky.
It's a fun one.
Yeah. I mean, you got nobody who can penalty kill, but that's fine.
Well, Sid.
Hey, Sid can.
True.
I mean, McKinnon can. He just doesn't.
What do you mean? Who's Michael McCarron can? He's elite. Josh Anderson.
He's counting on his default players.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Betsy, only 5 spots left. We're going pretty quick here.
Mm-hmm. I am going to take Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, Tkachuk.
Pairing him up.
Yep. The dream team here.
He's a left wing as well, right?
He's
Or is he
right.
Right.
Thank you. So I'm assuming you're going to put those together. We'll fix that after.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Makes
I
sense.
want to see
Makes
these.
sense.
I want to see that line so bad.
Yeah, let's switch.
Except
you go there.
Is
You go
is
there.
that your
Okay.
forward core done? Oh no, you got one more.
I
No,
got
he's got
one
one
more.
more. I just switched.
I can just take the best left.
Leftover. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. There's lots of them. I think this is the highest goalie in NHL, so I'm going to go Andrei Vasilevsky.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like an extra I in there, right? I think that's it.
VASI. Yeah, I'm not trying to do this again.
I'm pretty sure it's
We had our
there's like
spelling bee earlier.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a weird I in there.
Yeah.
Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Nice pick. Nice pick. So Betsky, don't take a goalie until your last pick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. You can't fool me twice. I am going to go fill out my forward core here. Actually, wait, is he done with the left wingers?
No.
He has 2 wingers left. He needs one. Yeah, he needs a left and a right. Actually, and I apologize. We have a slight error here.
How dare you?
There we go. Oh, wait, no. This should be Spittin's pick. Sorry, who are you taking?
My picks.
I am going to grab Erik Karlsson. I'm hoping there is some huge EA bias in this. This is a risky pick. This is kind of like your Kaprizov pick, even though I feel more confident that Kaprizov has a better rating than his stats show. But
Yeah.
I think EK may be there too.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to grease the system a little bit, so I hope you guys allow this. But if you go over to dailyfaceoff.com right now and you look at the New Jersey Devils lines, Jack Hughes is on the left wing. So I'm going to take Jack Hughes as my left winger.
Now, Betsky, any opposition outside of being unhappy with it? Do you think it's a fair move by him?
I'll allow it.
All right.
I actually had the same thought earlier, but I decided not to be a cheat. So, and the nice thing here is if I lose, I'll always know it was because of that.
There you go. So that's Spittin's squad as of right now. Yeah. He needs a right winger and a defenseman. Betsky has 3 picks left. He needs a left winger, a defenseman, and a goalie. I'm
going to run up and take another defenseman then. Might as well try to stack that since he stole Hughes.
No, I stole Jack Hughes. Yeah, you can't have the brothers.
I'm going to. Jeez, I wonder which one's better.
He was gonna be a team of brothers
on EA. I have to think McAvoy is better than this other guy, so I'm going to go McAvoy here.
Oh, okay. I want to guess the other guy if Spittin doesn't take him.
Okay.
I guess after. Oh, hold on. What am I doing here?
So I have a right winger and a D-man, correct?
1 second, and I will confirm. But I believe so. So,
okay, well, I'm gonna
D-core filled out for Betsky. Yes, you need a right winger and you need a defenseman. It doesn't matter. I don't think Betsky can pick either of them. So,
yeah,
but you never know. Some players play left and right.
Okay.
Very true.
Might steal him from him. Yeah. I don't have anyone ready, so
okay.
Because now Gretzky's put it in my head. Oh, you don't have any penalty killers, blah blah blah. Yep. So now somebody's all worried pants over here.
You're rolling out Jack Hughes. Kaprizov,
I feel like
Crosby against Panarin, McDavid, Pedersen, and Kucherov.
Joke's on you. We don't take any penalties. Don't need any penalty killers. We don't take any penalties.
You do. You are Team Lady Bean.
My guys won't take any penalties.
Now I'm just trying to think of who plays the right end. Shoot. Sorry, guys. It's a big decision.
I can't believe this. There's 2 players on the board that I'm shocked are not taken.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one. Oh, I don't think you're going to allow this, actually. So,
do you need to let? Yeah, okay. I'm not. No, well.
Oh, you don't want to give it away?
Yeah, I don't want to give it away because then he'll just take him. Because he needs a L dubs. Unless I can do some tinkering. No, I can't. I don't think I can. Yeah, okay. Shoot, guys.
You flew too close to the sun.
Yeah. I think this guy kills penalties, actually. But I just don't know how great he is in EA. Well, I'll stop. Oh! Okay, I'll do this. Mark Stone, right wing. Good penalty killer.
I love it.
Yeah. There we go. Sidney Crosby, Mark Stone. You ain't getting anything on me.
The veterans.
Yeah. Who was the guy you were?
I'm not. You make your pick. Make your pick.
All right, whatever. You know what? I had my eye on this guy earlier. He kind of has a little similarity to what you were saying with Kaprizov. Let's get Jason Robertson on that.
I thought about him for sure. Okay, now that the forwards are done and you're done, Brad Marchand, great penalty killer, and plays the left. I was gonna say him, but I don't think he plays any right wing, so I couldn't.
No, he doesn't. No. And William Nylander, undrafted.
I know.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, you only have 9 spots each, or 3.
Yep.
On the
another one I was thinking of. It was either going to be Stone or Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, that was another one I was really fiddling with.
But I don't think he is caught up to what he's done this year.
No,
so
I don't.
Kind of playing a little bit of the game here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and I just need a D man.
Yeah. Oh, and Betsky, get your goalie ready.
Yeah.
I didn't know how. Were you always going to plan on picking a goalie late?
Yes.
Yeah. There's so many and you only need one.
Yeah, exactly. That's at one point I was almost going to go early and then it's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I have the last pick, so I can just wait it out and take my second favorite.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
it's
my pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. If you're not ready, Betsky can pick his goalie if he's ready too. So don't change anything.
I'm just going to I'm just playing the game again, and I'm going to go Victor Hedman.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, that was one I was really considering. The other guy I was debating between McAvoy with was Heiskanen, actually.
Yeah, it was either Heiskanen or Hedman right there.
Yeah, and I'm like, I think they probably have some Boston bias.
Probably. So you guys aren't even saying the one I was thinking of, Noah Dobson.
He's not going to be ranked too.
No, there's no way.
He's going to be like 86
I don't know what his
rank
is,
but Hedman's like 90s, and Charlie's is 90s too.
I feel that way too.
Yeah, there you go. So Spit and Steam is done.
Gotta sell those video games, man.
There you go. Spit and Steam is done right there.
All right, and then
he's gonna pick his tendy here.
It's maybe come out a little left field, but let's grab Mike Smith for goaltending. Call him up. No, I think I am going to go.
Which Russian goalie are you taking?
I thought you have Vasilevsky.
Well, there's two others.
Oh, yeah.
Ilya and Igor.
Yeah. I just don't know if they've caught up on it though.
David Riddick still available.
Martin Jones, lock it in.
I think I am going to go eat.
Connor Ingram.
There's a glitch in the system. Everybody, stay patient.
I'm going to go Hellbuck.
Of course, a nice easy name for me to spell.
Helly Buick. Helly Buick.
Helly Busick. If you recall Johnny Busick, Bruins legend.
I feel like Sorokin has been actually so bad statistically that he has to have had an adjustment by now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like Jason Robertson not being on the same point pace that he was last season, or Kaprizov, is going to knock them down from like 90 to like 85. But I could see Sorokin being 90 to 85 right now because it's so glaring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
and Igor was the other one I was thinking there, but I just feel like Hellebuyck may be a little bit higher right now. So
it's disrespectful of me to say this, but I did not think of Hellebuyck. I completely forgot. But that's a good one.
So I'm going to say a couple of things. So if you guys want to make any changes to your lines, if you want to make any changes, let me know. We'll give you a minute to think about that. For the audience, in the comments, please let us know. Did they make any mistakes? Would you have changed anything? Would you have done anything different? And who do you think is going to win? So we're going to give these guys a minute to tinker with their lines if they want, and then we'll build it, and we're going to pop in the results on screen so you'll see how these teams perform head to head. And the only other question for you guys, do you want to do, it's going to be a best of 1 or a best of 3? What do you want to do?
7.
That's a best of 7, yeah.
Best of 7?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, best of 7. Sorry, that wasn't an option, but
yeah,
we can do that. We can do that. What we'll do is we'll quick sim until there's a tie-breaking game, and then you'll kind of see how it works. But I've got a plan. I think it'd be pretty fun.
I'd like to switch up my D.
Yeah, where do you want? Who do you want to move?
I'd like Cale Makar on the right side, and then I want Hedman on the left side on line 1, and then Dahlin and Fox.
Okay, perfect. So
mine's fine. Mine's perfectly crafted.
Well, I don't know. You got to get that left-right, dude. Come on.
So you want, what was it? Dahlin and Fox is who you wanted?
Yeah. Dahlin and Fox on the second pair, and then
whoopsies.
And then Cale and Hedman on the first pair.
I'm not concerned. Mine's perfection.
All right, dude.
And
Draisaitl can. What do you mean? I got tons of penalty killers. Draisaitl can kill penalties. Rantanen.
So there you go. That's your team. You're happy with that?
I don't know. I feel a little disrespectful not putting Rantanen with McKinnon. But
so you want to make that switch?
But that's just like real life.
They play separate a lot, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that top line's crazy.
Nice draft, gentlemen. We'll see whose team performs better, and the results. Everybody will see it. And we're going to go to that right now. thank you so much for watching. We have been a bit irregular with our schedule, so we're going to try and do a little bit better to get these out on a more frequent basis. For more content from me, you can follow me at ShopProps on Twitter/X or visit my website, shopprops.com. Spittin', where can they find your work?
Find me on X, Twitter at Spittin' Picklets. You can find all my written work for Canucks Army and all the other websites that I'm writing for now on there.
Awesome. And you can find me at Gretzky Betskis on Twitter. And I write for the Betting News as well.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you soon. Peace.